Welcome back to Leeds Lately, where today I'm going to be talking about Leeds United losing 1-0 against Wolves at Molineux. Now this game was, it was a frustrating one. 1-0 to Wolves in the end. It was a very unlucky goal to concede from a Leeds point of view, very lucky goal to score from a Wolves point of view, even though it was a bit of individual brilliance. The actual way it went in was horrendous for us. Phillips is still injured, so actually Bielsa went for a little bit of a different tack and Shackleton came in as the holding midfielder for Strike. I think this was a good decision because the way Strike plays, he plays a lot of sideways and backwards passes. When Phillips plays, you notice the massive difference is that Phillips is a lot more progressive with his passing. I think Shackleton offered a third different option, to be honest, today. I think Shackleton is a bit more progressive with his running more than trying to pick out players from distance or trying to play balls in behind or down the wings. Shackleton's more of a player that'll carry the ball for you and then take it down the wing. I was worried about that, thinking that he's going to be too far up the pitch and get caught out when they counter-attack. That didn't really happen in the end. Their goal came from a little bit of individual brilliance and a little bit of horrendous luck for us. So yeah, the whole game was pretty even, but in the first half there was chances for both teams. I think throughout the game, Rafinha's delivery was amazing, and we saw the first of his 3 whips into the box that Cooper got on the end of in the first half. He was on the right hand side, free kick, whips it right, outswinger, comes over the defence like this. Cooper gets on the end of it, but he only gets like a little sort of flicked glancing header. Rui Patricio collects quite easily, but it was a warning sign, and it was also a little bit of a encouraging sign for us that if we can do that again, which we did, that we might be able to score. I noticed that about halfway through the first half, I noticed that every time Traore got the ball into his feet, there was a Leeds player on him within a second, trying to block him off from making one of those storming runs that he makes, which is obviously something that Bielsa had briefed them on before the game. This, however, I think the tightness of the marking on Adama Traore actually allowed Pedro Neto a little bit more space, and he was just shooting all day. I wasn't really worried about him scoring from the distances he was shooting from, because he is a good player. So I'm not saying I wasn't worried about him scoring at all, because he's a fantastic player and he's only 20, so he's going to go on to unbelievable things, definitely. But I wasn't worried about him scoring in this game because he didn't really get chances inside the box. The only players that got chances inside the box in the first half for Wolves really was Nelson Semedo, the Wolves fullback. They signed him from Barcelona last summer, and he had 2 chances, both on the right hand side, both sort of a through ball for him. First one, he had a bit of a better angle to shoot, got a shot away, but Meslier had it covered near post. Wasn't going to make the same mistake that he did at Arsenal. And then the second one was a Willian Jose ball into him that I think he just put a little bit too much on, and Semedo wasn't able to get a good angle on it to shoot, so Meslier saved comfortably again. We had a few nearly moments in that first half. There was a one where Click hit a bit of a volleyed, low-driven cross across the box. First time, I don't think he was aiming to, but he nearly creeped near post. It hit the bottom of the post, and Patricio got a hand on it. It sort of flicked up into the box, and then Strike tried to get a shot away, but the first one was saved and the second one was blocked. So I think we're a bit almost lucky to get that situation by accident, but then unlucky for it not to have gone in. At half time, I just thought about Meslier's performance, and in this game as a whole he was brilliant. I think he was massively wanted to make up for his mistakes, and there were mistakes at Arsenal, and I think he definitely did that today. I know Wolves were shooting from distance, but some of the saves that he pulled off, tipping them across the post and stuff, they were world-class saves. And not only that, because that's one thing, like anyone, well, not anyone, but you know what I mean, you expect most Premier League keepers to be a good shot stopper. Meslier was quite dominant in the air for his age, really. I know he's massive, he's like 6'7", But when they were whipping those balls in, he was just jumping, catching them, landing, rolling the ball out, or jumping and tipping the ball away, or punching the ball away, which he did one time in the first half, I noticed. So he was so dominant. And I mentioned Kiko just in brief, but it's just a stark contrast to what Kiko was like in the Championship at times, where any time they got a ball on the wing or for a corner, for example, anytime you knew that they were going to whip the ball in the box, you worried about his actual capability to claim it. I don't worry as much with Meslier, even though he's made mistakes. I don't worry about that as much, because most of the time he is out to get it, out to claim it dominantly. In the second half, there was 2 more of those free kicks I talked about, both in similar positions on the right hand side, whipping outside of the foot with Rafinha's left foot, going over the defence. All 3 of them landed on Cooper, and I think there was a corner as well later on that landed on Cooper's head. You know what I mean? He headed it. He's going to land on his head. But these were gilt-edged. The one that... So the second one, the free kick that Rafinha whipped in the second half, it wasn't just a glancing header like the first one in the first half. This was like a proper power header, but it was straight down the keeper's throat. And there was another one where it was whipped back post, and he managed to get a toe on it this time, and Patricio saved it. But those chances there, when you missed the first one, fair enough, because he is a centre half, but there was 3 there where you've got to score at least one of them, or you will lose a game like this. You have to score those chances in the Premier League. It's an off day in terms of finishing. We created quite a bit, I thought, even with credit to Wolves, their brilliant organisation at the back, because it went to a back 3 again, which Conor Cody is most comfortable in, because he got yanked against West Brom, I think it was, when he lost 3-2. He got yanked against West Brom, and I don't think he's ever been substituted in his Wolves career. So that four at the back wasn't really working for them, so they reverted to the 3 that they're used to, and they were defensively very solid. They didn't offer a massive amount going forward. Nearly all of their shots were from outside the box, barring maybe those Semedo shots in the first half that weren't really that troubling for Meslier in goal anyway. But in the 64th minute, Adama Traore cut in off the right hand side, beat his first man, and he was heading towards the edge of the box. He absolutely belted one. It hit the stanchion, the top right stanchion, and it bounced down, hit Meslier on the back and went in. I mean, there's nothing Meslier could have done about that. It goes down as an own goal, but it's so unfortunate, given, like I said, he'd been having an excellent game. So it's just so unlucky and so unfortunate for Meslier in that situation, and so unfortunate for Leeds, because we did create enough chances to win the game. I think we had better chances than they did, especially one that I'm going to talk about in a minute later on. I think we had better chances than they did, but that's just a freak goal, really. It was a good bit of play by Adama Traore. Obviously, it was a bit of individual brilliance and a great strike, but when it hits the bar, bounces down, hits the keeper on the back and goes in, then you know it's not your day. In the 78th minute, Roberts plays in Bamford. Bamford's through on goal and scores. But flag goes up, offside, and you're going, oh, not again. I thought it was offside the first time I saw it through, but when we saw the VAR, it was so close, and they were drawing those stupid lines. I mean, if we'd have had no VAR, the flag went up anyway, so he would have judged it to be offside, but it was very, very close, and it's just so frustrating. I mean, a millisecond earlier playing that ball, and he's not offside, and it's 1-1. It's just unlucky. It was a great finish from Bamford, very, very clinical and a proper striker's finish, but it's just, I mean, obviously I got up and went, yes, get in, and then I went, oh, VAR. And that was the story of the day, really. We we created more chances after that. There was one where Roberts absolutely whacked one from the edge of the box. Cody gets his head on it like that and then goes down, obviously wasting time, lying on the floor going, oh, it's hit me in the head. Like, how many balls do you head like every game? Obviously time wasted. Then a couple of minutes later, Pedro Neto's about to take the corner, and I've praised him earlier in the game for how good he is, and he's got fantastic potential, but oh my god, when he was stood in that corner going, "Hey, ref, ref!" like screaming like a little girl, like, what are you doing? You're just embarrassing yourself. And he went and got himself a yellow card for it, so the ref clearly thought so too. Oh, and before that, Click and Harrison came off for Alioski and Costa. Alioski obviously going to left back with Stuart Dallas pushing up into midfield and Costa going out on the wing where Harrison was. Later, a bit later on, Pablo came on, and Pablo sat in like the holding midfield position, and he came on for Shackleton obviously then. And he sat in the holding midfield position and he didn't really defend. He was just there to pick up balls deep and spray them around, which he didn't really allow him to be effective, and he didn't have much time to do it. I'd like to see him get a few, especially because Rodrigo's injured. I know Bielsa wants to play Roberts, and I thought Roberts did well today. He's great with the ball, Roberts, but he's not great off the ball. Saying that, Pablo's not great off the ball because he is like 35 and he can't do the running anymore, but I would like to see Pablo in there because the impact that he had for us at the end of last season, like, it's unbelievable. He can do that in the Premier League. He's done it for Swansea before. I just think he needs a little chance in the team now. I think there's all these rumours about him going back to Castellon, the club that he part owns, but it won't be till the end of the season. So I'd like to see him play more. I'd like to see him get that chance. I mean, the goal that Pablo scored against Swansea, I mean, I loved it that much that, look at this. So much so that I've got it framed on my office wall, and I think he can do that again. I think he can provide a moment like that just before he goes, and I'd love to see it. 90 plus 3 minutes. A ball is launched long and it drops in the Wolves box. The Wolves defender, I think it's Saiss or Cody, he miscontrols it and it drops straight to Helder Costa, who drops his shoulder, cuts right, and there is no defenders between him and the goal. It is the goal and Rui Patricio. A gilt-edged chance to go 1-1 right at the death against his former club. Proved that they shouldn't have sold him, that he was good enough for the Premier League at the time. Oh! He hit it straight at the keeper's legs. It was so tame. Either side of the keeper and it's a goal. Hit it straight at the keeper. So tame. Oh god. And I just thought, oh my god. He's not a finisher, is he? Didn't know what to say after that. Game finished 1-0. Very unlucky to go down 1-0. I would have taken a draw given the events of the game. I think we deserved a draw at least. I think we could have won with some of the chances that we had, especially that one at the end and Cooper's chances. I think Cooper could have scored one of his chances and Kostic could have scored his chance. That would have made it 2-1, and I think that would have been a fair result. And I think those were very scoreable goals as well. It's not like they were making stuff up about chances that didn't happen. These were chances that we missed that were just there to be had. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully I'm a bit more upbeat next time when we've won. But that's going to be it, like I say, and I'll see you after the next game. Subscribe if you're new, or if you want to see plenty more Leeds content in the future, and check out my Twitter, that's Leeds_Lately, for regular updates, tweets during the game, just stuff like that really, Leeds news. And there's also the website, Leeds Lately, which has our most recent blog up now, just talking about the Rafinha to Liverpool rumours. there's been rumours since Rafinha to scum, but that's not what... I've used Liverpool as an example in that article of why he wouldn't leave Leeds, why other teams would want to sign him, given how he's played this season, including statistics, etc., and a bit of background and history about where he actually came from and how he eventually made his way to Leeds United. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.